As a female, I have always been aware of the heightened dangers of doing just about anything solely because of my gender. Recently, I was reading a Mustang News article where freshman Michelle Mueller expresses her concern for the safety of female students on Cal Poly's campus, as well as her frustration with the lack of action in making the campus safer for females. In her letter to the editor, centering on the disappearance of Kristen Smart, she notes that here we are, 25 years later, and yet nothing has been accomplished or even attempted to increase the safety of women on campus, which makes me wonder if there is anything to even prevent something like this from happening again, as female students still endure daily threats to their safety. Another problem we are facing is that our own President Armstrong has failed to acknowledge the fears of female students neither in his press conference nor in his message to Cal Poly students and staff. This is disappointing as a female student myself, as I believe we deserve better. This next slide displays some graphics from an Instagram post that really stuck out to me, as I feel like it really emphasizes the point that this is a fear that almost all women have and is very rational. Yet this is something that many men aren't even aware of. I remember seeing this post for the first time with my boyfriend, and he asked, "Do you really do that with your keys?" The answer is yes, and this is something ingrained in probably most women you know. If it's not clutching keys between our knuckles as we walk alone at night, it's carrying pepper spray, an alarm keychain, a whistle, or even a taser disguised as a cell phone. I recall my best friend's mom actually giving me a whistle that looked exactly like this green one, as I was leaving for college my freshman year. So here's some statistics to put this fear into perspective. Up to 1/3 of college women are sexually assaulted during their college career, and college women are twice as likely to be stalked as women in the general population. I remember seeing this and just thinking that it was so crazy and honestly scary that being a college student makes me twice as likely to be stalked. Another issue I have noticed here at Cal Poly is that while there are simple steps that could be taken to increase safety, there is just no effort. I'm sure you have all seen these blue emergency call phones, yet it seems that every time I walk by one, there is a sign on it indicating that it is out of order. This would be such a helpful resource, and it's so frustrating that small fixes like these are not being made. To break this down a little more, I came across this graph from a Herald poll showing that female respondents feel less safe than male respondents, both on and off campus. Even though they feel safer on campus than off, there are still a decent amount of women who feel unsafe enough on campus to report this, and this is not something that should be normalized. Now looking at Cal Poly specifically, we can see that there is even a separate category labeled violence against women, not just violence in general on campus, but specifically against women. This worries me that there is a recognition of threats to safety for women, but yet it seems it is solely up to women to protect themselves, and this has become normalized. Just to reiterate, females overall have a fear of being victimized or violently assaulted on campus, and just the knowledge of the norm that it happens perpetuates that fear. Instead of telling women to stay with the group, count their drinks, keep an eye on their drink, or wear less revealing clothes, there should be more steps taken to protect women instead of letting the responsibility solely fall on them. So as I'm sure many of you have heard of this Instagram account called Shades of Cal Poly, which basically aims to shine light on root problems here at the university. I've found so many posts within the account pertaining to women feeling unsafe on campus, even in this case with their parents right next to them as it's happening. Not only are women made to feel unsafe by their peers, I have also heard of this uneasiness being provoked by professors. Reading through Rate My Professor reviews, many people say, avoid a certain male professor because of how they make female students feel in office hours or just in class. I'll personally avoid certain buildings or parking lots late at night because they make me feel unsafe. These feelings clearly persist off campus as well, as you can see from the posts I've captured here. I personally have a close friend who was drugged while downtown, and I have unfortunately heard countless stories of unfortunate happenings at frat parties where women feel unsafe or feel taken advantage of. As fellow peers, we have the power to stand up and intervene in these situations, but just being there as a bystander doesn't guarantee that sexual assault will be stopped. Sometimes cues can be very subtle and aren't always detectable. Additionally, sexual objectification, such as catcalling, has become normalized to the point where it is often overlooked as the antecedent to sexual assault. So what can be done about this? How can we create a campus environment where women feel safer? I think that it comes down to increasing awareness of the problem, making student voices heard, and then actual action being taken to address this problem and help women to feel safer on campus. I think for one, increasing awareness, programs such as Cal Poly Safer and Pulse do a lot of work in advocating and promoting awareness among students. However, for this to have an impact, we need faculty to step in as well. I think this is an important conversation to have in the classroom, as many faculty may have the same concerns as students. To that end, we need student voices to be heard. If enough students and faculty come together with the same concerns, we can push admin to become concerned as well. Simply being aware that a problem exists will not matter if we stay put and don't take the steps to actually make a difference. And finally, we need admin to take action in addressing and fixing these concerns head on. For example, fixing those blue emergency call phones, as I mentioned earlier, would be a great and easy step in the right direction that could positively impact females' perceptions of their own safety on Cal Poly's campus. And lastly, I just want to touch on some really great resources. So I briefly mentioned Cal Poly Safer earlier, which is Cal Poly's primary confidential resource for addressing sexual assault, intimate partner violence, domestic violence, stalking, sexual exploitation, and harassment. And here on this next slide, I have included the contact information and location for Safer, as well as campus well-being services such as Pulse, as well as Mustangs for Recovery. Thank you for listening. I hope this presentation has truly brought to light the problem of female safety here at Cal Poly and made you think about what we can do to fix this and make this a safer campus environment. Thank you.